Welcome back to Peril Pending, and today we're looking at someone play the ultimate victim card. So I had already recorded today's video, edited and set up, when I then popped onto social media, because like everybody else I'm addicted, and I saw this story. So today's first video will go out tomorrow because this has got to hit the waves immediately. It's from the Huffington Post by Kevin Schofield, titled, "Nigel Farage says he is being treated like a war criminal by the media." Yep, the big bloated baby of British politics says he's claiming he's a war criminal. He's being treated like a war criminal. Let's get into it. Nigel Farage has been criticised after claiming he is being treated like a war criminal by his critics. Yes, apparently what is just being held to the same standard as every other politician, that's what me and you believe it is. Farage says that it's actually more like he's being treated like a war criminal. And honestly, I cannot wait to see how many of his talking heads he sends out to repeat this line, because this is the craziest thing you could have said. You think you're being treated like a war criminal because the Standards Committee won't let you take millions and millions and millions of undeclared funding to your party. And millions. He was speaking after he shocked Westminster last week by quitting as an MP to Clacton, triggering the by-election seat. A master plan, if you ask me. Farage claimed he was the victim of a witch hunt. Has everyone got their bingo cards ready? Who had witch hunt? Who had war criminal? Comment below if you suspected he was going to say war criminal, because I need to have a chat with you and your clairvoyant tactics. As he faces a parliamentary standards investigation over a £5 million gift from a Thai-based crypto billionaire that he did not declare. On the podcast, he said calling the by-election was the right thing to do. Of course he said that. He has to say that. What's he going to say? Is he going to admit that it was the wrong thing to do? So now he's being investigated. It's the wrong thing to do. And the taxpayer's got a bill of £250,000. He's never going to do that. He's quoted as saying, "I think effectively I'm being treated like a war criminal." Oh my days. Who is advising him? Who thought this was a good idea? You are a multi-millionaire and you have multiple properties. You're always in high-class clubs. You've got your lifetime's worth of security now because of your £5 million bung. But you're being treated like a war criminal. I mean, Gaddafi might have some would have had some words to say about this. It's quite astonishing, and it's like our mainstream media think we have to defer to them at all times, and I just don't buy it. The media, admittedly, in some situations, I believe anyways, try to make the news as opposed to report on the news. But this is an investigation by the House of Commons Standards Committee. It's the committee that would investigate every other MP if they were breaking the rules. Did you believe that Boris Johnson was being treated like a war criminal when he broke COVID lockdown rules? Did you think that Keir Starmer was being treated like a war criminal when the media hounded him about a 20k field he bought? Still a really impressive amount of money for a field. No, you didn't. But now that it's being applied to you, apparently it's like being treated like a war criminal. Insane. He's also quoted as saying, "You look at today's press and they say he doesn't want scrutiny. I don't mind scrutiny, but I do mind illegally obtained information. I do mind computer hacking. I genuinely mind those things and the intimidation of my family." So a few things here. You don't like scrutiny. There are 4 investigations into you, and that's why you called the by-election. That's literally the only reason. There's no other reason. And if you win, those investigations will continue. It doesn't matter if the people of Clacton voted you back in. There's an investigation. It doesn't matter. Like a lot of you have commented on a few videos now. If a criminal, like there was a really good one, I can't remember your name, I'm so sorry, who said if a doctor was being done for malpractice and he asked his patients to fill out a survey, does the investigation into malpractice disappear if the majority of his patients said, actually, he was pretty good to me? No, not at all. The investigation continues. You've just wasted all these people's time and, in this case, our money. Second, you do mind if it's illegally obtained. Well, you've actually had no proof that it was illegally obtained. You keep saying it was a computer hack by the Russians, which would be huge. That would be a foreign power, a foreign superpower, the Russians, committing an attack on a standing British MP. That's huge. But you have not reported it to the NCA. You have not reported it to MI6. You haven't even reported it to the Met. You've got some third party, you allegedly, got a third party source to come in, and they managed to verify that this was traceable to Russia. But you haven't said who that third party was. Why would anybody trust just your words? No, if this is serious, if you're serious about this, then why don't you just submit the phone? Because we all know it's not serious. And lastly, the intimidation of my family. You're talking utter bollocks. Yes, it's not good when the press hound your family. I would never advocate for that. However, all the footage we've seen from apparently this Sky News intimidation, it equates to them knocking on the door, finding it's not you there, asking if you're there, finding you're not there, and leaving. Is it intimidation when the postie comes by and it's got a knock on the door because the parcel's a bit too big? No, it's not. Goodness me. Oh, hard man Nigel Farage, what has to be, he's the only one who can steer the country because he's so strong, but he gets scared when somebody knocks on the door. I just thought it had all reached such a frenzy that I had to do something. You didn't. You didn't have to do anything. You should have just, you're still claiming you're innocent, so why wouldn't you just allow the investigations to see their way through? You would have been found to be innocent, and then you'd have more of an argument about how the establishment are trying to stitch you up. But you didn't do that. The Reform leader said, I've done something positive. They wanted a by-election here. Well, now they've got one, and they don't want to stand. Oh, I'm getting so sick of this one as well. Alex Phillips mentions this a lot in tomorrow's video, but nobody actually wanted the by-election. People said that you're likely going to get suspended, and if the suspension was for 10 days or more, it would trigger a by-election, and then, obviously, people would field candidates and they would take it back from you. I think Rupert Lowe was the one that was really going in hard on you, and he's more far-right than you. So, nobody wanted this. The people at Clacton didn't want this. That's manufactured. Much like everything else Farage has claimed, that's a lie. And as a nice treat, I went through and listened to the Reform UK podcast, and I've specifically got the little clip here to show you. If you want to listen to the full thing and read the full article, of course, links to both will be in the description. But for the time being, here's just a little snippet so you know this isn't manufactured, because Lord knows once this really hits the airwaves, I wouldn't be surprised if the Reform UK podcast took the episode down.
Well, I just thought it was the right thing to do. I think, effectively I'm being treated like a war criminal. It's quite astonishing. And it's like, our mainstream media think that we have to defer to them at all times. And I just don't buy that.
There you go. Heard it from the horse's mouth. If he tries to deny it now, like I'm sure will, well, we've got the evidence. Now, those are just my thoughts. Leave yours in the comments section down below, and I'll catch you next time while the peril's still pending.